Hi everyone, in this video we're going to cover how to draw an NKBA floor plan. So a floor plan, as most of you know, is an overhead kind of bird's eye cutaway view of a room. So turn to Appendix A in your design presentation textbook for the sample project documents that we're going to be looking at right now. In general, this textbook is an excellent reference and gives step-by-step instructions for drawing these drawings. Okay, so your floor plan will depict the entire room. You want to, if possible, get the entire kitchen on one sheet at the typical scale of 1/2 inch equals 1 foot. It specifically shows any existing to remain and any new or proposed items. All right, on this drawing, we're not showing anything that's going to be demolished or removed. There's a separate drawing for that. It's called the construction plan. All right, so if you haven't already, go ahead and pull out that Appendix A. We're going to be looking more closely at this floor plan, this example right here. And the first thing that I want to point out is that the floor plan shows all walls, doors, and windows. It also shows specifically any casing or trim on your doors and windows. And here's an example of that, casing on your doors and windows right here. All right. It shows all cabinets, counters, and fixtures and appliances. No surprises here. Okay. And your floor plan will also show furniture if it's included in your project. If there's, I don't know, maybe some existing furniture that is not important to your project, you might leave it on. That's up to you. An NKBA floor plan will show a suggestion of flooring materials. Now, you don't have to cover the entire floor with the pattern, but you do need to show it somewhere. And here's an example right here showing the direction of the flooring. It will show ceiling height and room name. These are just a note that's on the drawing. It says kitchen, 120-inch ceiling height. Here's another room name down here, family room. And you also want to include any symbols, elevation, section, etc. And so here's an elevation symbol right here, elevation C pointing that way. Elevation B is pointing this direction. All right, here's where it starts to get tricky. A NKBA floor plan will have cabinet nomenclature. Nomenclature is a fancy word for names. So the cabinet nomenclature will either be written on the plan or tagged to a schedule. Let's show. Here's an example right here. Cabinet nomenclature. It says W2351L. And we'll talk about what that means later. All right, but right now, that's what it is. It's for the wall cabinet. And it's written right here on the plan. Okay, here for the base cabinet, it says B27. That's the nomenclature for that particular cabinet. But there's more information than can be written on the plan, and therefore this designer has chosen to tag this cabinet to the schedule. It says number 1 here, says 7-inch base with breadboard. Right? That kind of information, it was too much to write on the plan, and so they pulled it out to the specifications. So let's talk about those floor plan specifications. Here it is right here. Your sheet will include floor plan specifications tagged to the plan. You're going to include all fixtures and appliances here in the floor plan. And so the specification is a legend, and it is over here on the right-hand side of the page, and it's got a title. It's got a list of little numbers. They're symbols. They've got a little circle around them, and then whatever description is needed. They are tagged on the plan, as in every single one of these should match with a location on the plan. For example, here's number 6. It says custom hood, and over here tagged number 6. Here's another example. Number 11, French door refrigerator. is tagged on the plan right here, number 11. And one more example, the dishwasher, number 17, is tagged on the plan, number 17. Okay. It's important for visibility that all symbols that are in your legend, in your floor plan specification legends, are the same size as the symbols on the plan. I see a lot of people, tiny circles over here, large circles over there. I want them to be exactly the same size. Also, please, please keep an eye on your text height. Don't get these too small. In general, your minimum text should be 1/8 of an inch high. The last element of your floor plan sheet here are the dimensions. The dimensions are in NKBA standards are fairly tricky, and I'm going to get into them in the next video. When you draw walls in an NKBA floor plan, there's 2 accepted ways. You can draw just 2 lines, so it's basically an empty wall or the wall outline. Or you can fill it in, as in this example here. That's called a poché when you completely darken in between. All right, either of those are accepted in NKBA standards. When you draw a half wall or any partial height wall, make sure that you add a note next to the wall with its height. Call that out so that we know that it's a partial height wall. And finally, wall thicknesses. Typical interior wall thickness is 4.5 inches, and a fairly typical exterior wall thickness is 6 inches. So we mentioned that a floor plan is kind of like an overhead view of a space. But if you're going to get a little bit more complicated, it's actually a horizontal section through a space and then look down. And the determination of where you place that section line determines how some of your items will look on the drawings. In the NKBA standards, we are cutting off right at the ceiling height. Okay, and therefore all wall cabinets, your upper cabs, are going to be drawn as a solid line because they're below that cut line. Next, lower will be the countertops, and then under the countertops will be the base cabinets, and they are going to be shown with a dashed line because they're below that counter surface. However, and this is a little tricky, windows and doors are still shown as if we were cutting through them. So here's an illustration of this, of how we are cutting in the NKBA standards right at the ceiling height. See how high up we are? Okay. But we cheat a little bit and we pretend that we cut through windows and doors. All right. Let's take a closer look. I've zoomed in on kind of a corner of this floor plan example. And I want to show you exactly how those cabinets look when they're drawn to NKBA standards. So let's start right here. Wall cabinets are going to be drawn as a solid line. And so over here we see a wall cabinet, and it's drawn with a solid line. Countertops, right here is a countertop. Countertops will be drawn also as a solid line. You're looking directly down at the countertops. Base cabinets, however, are underneath the counter surface and they're recessed slightly because there's a little lip. All right, so base cabinets are going to be shown with a dashed line. Again, here's our upper cabinet we were looking at before. Here is the base cabinets below. Here's a dashed line between 2 base cabinets. So yes, we are showing individual units divided. But then we don't show it here. We can't see the division between those base cabinets as we're looking at the top of the wall cabinet. Okay, in this video we went over what you show in a floor plan and some of the NKBA standards for drawing it. Next, we'll dig deeper into how to dimension a floor plan.